Ok. Eu posso... Sim, passa o número dela, porque...
Sim, eu te passo daqui a pouco o número, sabe? Na rua do Túnel, a rua 3006. É aquela rua, nós estamos aqui na casa bem pequenininha daquela rua. Tá vendo? Você bem aqui, é só andar no quarteirão e na esquina já chega.
Sim.
E lá é bom que é só ela, e ela sempre deixa o portão da frente aberto, né? Caso a gente já venha.
Sim. Ok. E quanto que ela cobra lá, por exemplo, pra fazer? Se fosse pra fazer uma limpeza normal. Uma limpeza.
Mas esse eu acho que tem porque ela cobrou dois.
Hey, just Michael. Hello, everybody. Today I'm going to try to do some cooking at home with, hey, Aaron. How's it going? I'm going to try to do something different over here, just to be different. You know, I've been doing a lot of phone repair videos lately. I've been doing videos of myself driving to work, but today, I don't know. I'll try something different. I'll try to cook, just to change up the routine a little bit. Okay. Let's see how it comes out. Oh boy. Okay, today I'll be cooking kale greens, best if used by March 25th. So I better use this quick before it goes bad. I'm going to use this recipe over here. It says prep time 5 minutes, cook time 20 minutes. Oh, gotta roast my garlic. Almost forgot. It's starting to get burned. There we go. Black and burned. Large stock, heat up olive oil, medium heat. Add onions and garlic. Saute until onion softens. Alright, so here's my onions. Gonna lay that bad boy in there. I don't know if I used too much onions, but there's two bulbs of onion. I'll saute it in there until it softens, just as the direction says. Yeah. Have you guys done any sort of cooking yet at home? I love cooking because it's like almost like a hypothesis, a science experiment almost. Alright. Let's see, while it's simmering, I'll let it simmer for a little bit. Let's go off to the next instructions right over here. It says 1 tablespoon of apple cider, stir in mustard, about 5 minutes. Okay, I'll set the timer for 5 minutes. There you go. I'll put 6 just for safe measures. When it beeps, we know that the onions are all nice and heated up. Stir in mustard, sugar, cider vinegar, and chicken stock. Okay. I better put that in a separate bowl. Okay, let's see. Here's the other ingredients here. Well, I don't have mustard. So I have to substitute it for something else. Thought I had some mustard, but I don't. Oh well. It's not always we have all the ingredients we want. It says, put this on lower heat, otherwise I'll fall behind schedule and it'll turn to a crispy crumble. Now bear in mind, I'm no professional chef here, okay? I'm not that good at phone repair, so bear in mind. What do you cook, Michael? Okay, let's see here. Chicken stock, water, sugar. So much Gosh. So it doesn't say how much vinegar I had to use. Okay, one tablespoon of vinegar. So I presume that this is going to be a tablespoon right there. Yep, that's about it right there. Tablespoon. And then I wanted some sugar. So I normally don't use sugar, but a tablespoon of sugar. Okay, there you go. Some sugar. Throw it on there like Emerald does. You know, Emerald, the cooking show. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I think that'll be decent for the sugar. Stir up the pot a little bit. Don't stir too much. Okay. Some garlic in there, some onions. Okay, well that heat sure didn't simmer down too fast. We want some sort of heat on there, I presume. I tell you what, this garlic sure is savory. Chicken, lasagna, rice, and all types of stuff. That's awesome, Just Michael. I hope you get a chance to shoot some videos of some of your cooking. Let's see here. Kale green or chicken stock. 1 1/4 cup of chicken stock. Let's see here. I don't even know what that is. I presume it's some of this stuff. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Hope that our hypothesis is correct. Let's see here. Dissolve 1 tablespoon into 8 ounces. So 1 teaspoon makes 8 ounces. So I need a cup. I'll need 2 tablespoons. So I need 1, 2, 3. Oops. Yeah, that's okay. A little bit extra is okay for flavor, I guess. And now I need about 8 ounces of water, I believe. Yeah, we got the sugar in here. We got the water. These instructions sure aren't that clear. Bring it to. Okay. And at least the onion is nice and tender looking. Okay. Everything is like a timer. Timer already went off. I'm going to add in another set of say 6 minutes. Alright, what else do we need? Almonds and cranberries. Wow. Okay. So the only thing I'm missing really is the Dijon mustard. What if I substituted the Dijon mustard with some ketchup? Maybe we can do ketchup. What do you guys think? We'll roll with the ketchup. Ketchup. I don't even have ketchup, it looks like. There it is. I do have ketchup after all. Alright. There you go. Soften this bad boy up a little bit. And then I'll put in some water. How much water? I don't know. I think it was calling for like a cup of water, 8 ounces. That's what it called for. How much water? 1 1/4 cup of chicken stock. Okay, this is about 1 1/4 cup. It says to bring it to a boil. All this stuff I have to bring to a boil. Smells so flavorful already. Can't wait to try it. It's always different each time, so I decided to make a YouTube video of it this time. You're always so supportive. I appreciate that, Michael. Do you have any brothers and sisters? Okay. I'm definitely not as like dramatic of a chef as some of these other TikTokers and YouTubers, but we work with what we have, you know. Bring up this heat to number 8. Alright, it's a lot of liquids there. It's almost a soup. Almost. The consistency of almost like that of a soup. Right. Well, gonna get some cranberries while we wait. Cranberries and almonds. What I do like is some of this. Some nuts in there. Just add what do you call it, protein factor. Look at that. There it is, coming to a boil. I'm gonna simmer that back down now that it's reached a boiling point. Ooh, look at these nuts. Oh. Alright, bunch of nuts. Boiling away, boiling away. It's time for me to add the salad soon, but what I'm going to do is I want to thicken this up a little bit, just to give it a little bit of texture. The instructions didn't call for it, but I'm going to put a little bit of flour in there, or a little bit of, I don't know, baking soda. I don't know what they call this, but it thickens up the thickens up the broth a little bit, so that it has like a creamier texture. That's just my twist onto it. time for me to add in the kale greens. Let's see here. If you guys are working with knives, keep it away from yourself. There we go. Come on. Steady as she goes. There you go. Thank you, Chef Michael. I don't know how many minutes deep we're in so far. Keep it covered for a second. Just to like let the heat do its thing. It did say to add cranberries. So in a second I will look for some cranberries. I see figs. I don't see cranberries. A whole bunch of dried figs. Apricot. I wonder if I can add apricot. I don't see cranberries. Oh. What do you know? We have a few bags of cranberry from school lunch. The kids' school lunch. Looks like it may need some more fluids soon. This might not be enough. I'll add some more water in a second. I'll also add the cranberries. It's dried cranberries, so cover this up, let it simmer a bit. 4 bags of cranberries. So kind of, I know just Michael said he cooks chicken, lasagna, rice. Excuse me. Alright, there's a lot of cranberries here, but I like my cranberries. There you go, almost half a cup of cranberries, almost a whole cup of cranberries. Let's see what the ingredients call for. Cranberry, a 1/3 cup. Shit, I'm really going overboard with it. Tasting good. Well, while I was doing this thing, I'll go ahead and trim down the nuts more. The nuts, but it definitely sounds like it needs a little bit more water too, so I add a couple cups of water. Actually, I'm going to use this one. This one's filtered. There you go. Rehydrate some of this cranberry. I'll give it, yeah, that looks good. I was going to add a little bit more sugar. Maybe I should give it that sweet, savory flavor. Yeah, I'll add some more sugar. Sugar. Step by step. Cooking. Almost like phone repairs, huh? There you go. Toss that bad boy right down in the center over there. And meanwhile, I'll cook up some nuts. I would say this is my third time making this recipe, and it's right up there in the package of the kale green packaging. And when I was a kiddie, in my teen years, younger 20s, I really didn't like veggies all that much. I mean, I would eat it, but these days I'm switching over to a plant-based diet. So figured I try to cook more plant-based things on my own. I definitely don't know how to cut these as well as like a professional chef goes, but you know, we work with what we got, you know. Don't be afraid to try new things out. By the time somebody's criticizing you, you probably would have learned and done like 5-10 new things. Don't let execution paralysis get to you guys. Look at that mess. It's okay. Let me clean up along the way. Alright. Let's see here. A little spatula thingamabob. Yeah. Not enough space to put all that stuff. Oh. It's starting to soften and go down a little bit. Okay. I still have to add in one more bag of kale greens. Hopefully it fits in this wok, this little stirring frying pan. Hopefully, keep our fingers crossed. It's starting to change color now from dark green to like a little bit of brown, and the finished color should look like that, like a little bit of yellow and brown. So it shouldn't look green. We'll get there when we get there. I'll snap a picture shortly. Okay, let that simmer a little bit more while I chop some more nuts. I'll rinse off the next batch of kale green as well. Use that knife action, keep the blade away from you. There we go. Well, if I was ever a professional samurai or whatever, I probably wouldn't make it because I can't even cut a bag open with a sharp knife. Boy. You can see that I don't really navigate around the kitchen all too well. Oh well, you know, everyone's got their specialty. So cooking really isn't my specialty, but yeah. I like to try new things, take on new challenges. Figure I rinse a little bit of that pesticide off, even though it says no pesticides. I'm sure there's some sort of like spray they put on it, preservatives. Better that I rinse that off than to try to ingest it. I didn't do that in the first bag, unfortunately. So I'm sure a lot of people who cook at home forget to rinse off that first batch too. Yeah, they'll probably forget to. Alright. Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and put in Oh, sweet. It's I would encourage more and more people to go on more vegetable diets if they can. If they can stomach it. I would say some people say that they cannot because they're so used to eating meats and. But with me at Phone Doctor, as I get older, understand a little bit more. And when I was younger, I really didn't think about the consequences of meats and how they're processed. You guys look outside sometimes when I'm cutting the grass, you'll see that there's chickens in my yard. So I used to grow chickens, feed chickens for the sake of for harvesting their eggs as well as meats. But when I processed about 1, 2, probably by the time I processed my third chicken, I kind of had a tough time with it, as far as processing them, and who knows? I felt kind of bad about it. I still do. It's like when I was processing the chicken, I looked up other people's YouTube videos on how to do it and saw how you behead the chicken. It was a little bit tough. The chicken was looking at me back in the eye when I was beheading it. So, hi, baby. I'm just on my feed. So that's my story of my slow transition to going on a more plant-based diet. I'd say if I started the journey maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it'd be a lot tougher because I wouldn't have believed such a thing. There's so much marketing information and commercials about you have to eat your meat, you have to have those servings, you have to have your proteins. But I'll be honest with you guys, I've been avoid eating meats, even down to eggs. I don't really eat as regularly anymore, and it's been about 4 months now. So about 4 months now, and I'm still doing okay. Still have energy day to day. My focus is still about as good as it was 4 months ago, 5 months ago. All right, here's the nuts. Yes, Michael, it is. I felt the same as you when I was around your age. It's good that at least you have a consciousness for it. Sometimes at a younger age, people may not know actually about the plants and the animals, and sometimes it's written inside of our scriptures, our writing, to say that that's what the animal's purpose is for, is to help feed us. And push comes to shove, if there's nothing else on the table and I gotta eat an animal, I'm not going to end up starving just because I'm so stubborn about eating animals. But for the past 4 months, since there's so much options out there as far as other options for protein, I figure keep trying. Chicken stock, clover. I wonder if I should throw some onions on here. No, maybe some mushrooms. Yeah, mushroom adds a little bit of I like mushrooms. It really does add a little bit of kick as far as flavor goes. Seasons. Sprinkle with almonds if desired. Okay, almonds is the very, very last portion, I guess. So I will put this off to the side, and this little set of almonds and nuts off to the side, and I sprinkle that at the end. Everything's like an experiment. That's cool that you have an interest in cooking as well, just Michael. Very nice to be able to share experiences with fellow viewers. You know, when I was a kid, I didn't think any different for the animals. I thought that they were just bugs, you know. It's just, you don't think these things. Yeah, it's just normal to, it's not even, when it's on your table, it doesn't even look like animals or parts of animals anymore. It just doesn't. It just looks like a burger. It just looks like anything but an animal. But just once you visualize that they are parts of animals, like how, yeah, if it's a kitty cat or a dog or chimpanzee, people are like, oh yeah, disgusting. But you know what difference is that between a pig and a cow and beef and chicken? I saw the resemblance when the chicken was peering back into my eyes when I was processing it. So I felt some sort of a emotional connection, I would say. Like, oh man, what if that was me getting my my head beheaded? I sure wouldn't feel nice. And you know, the rules and the laws, they change over time, interestingly. You know, what if like an eon from now, 1,000 years from now, the rules starts changing? It's like, oh gosh, we start realizing that the animals also have a consciousness. They too are sentient. They just don't have a way to, you know, communicate it, enunciate as clearly as we do, because our voice coils are a little bit more sophisticated. What if, you know? I'd hate to turn this cooking session into like a thought-provoking. You know, some people are like, "Hey, man, this is so unpleasant. I came here to learn how to cook, and here you are talking about theories and topics of evolution and philosophy." You know, I hope I don't turn down a few viewers because of that. But you know, sometimes I just feel like it's great to be able to speak one's mind. It's great to be able to express oneself without being judged. And I guess what's also nice about YouTube is that, hey, there's so many options out there. There's always going to be somebody else that will say, you know, express their own opinion. So each person has their own opinion. So definitely not here to hurt anybody else's opinion or distract or take away from anybody else's perspective. Everyone's got their own thoughts, their own views, and it's okay. I feel it's okay. I feel like my messages are peaceful. They're not out to hurt or harm anybody. If anything, it's it'll help out those little animals a little bit more, and hopefully it doesn't hurt anybody else. Thank you, Just Michael. Yeah, not everyone would agree to it, but I really do appreciate you listening along, just exploring different topics together, you know, even if it is just cooking, even if it is just through the process of driving to work. It's great to be able to think and express oneself freely without being just overly judged. There you go. It looks like it's starting to change its color. I'm going to take a sample taste of this one just to see how it is. The flavor is deep, intense. I definitely do like the flavor. But I will pour a little bit of the fluids out because it's getting a little bit fluidy. See how it's getting really watery towards the bottom? I'll take that out. Come on. I'll try to do this here. And what I'm going to do, rather than dump it out, I'm going to put a little bit more of the baking soda or baking flour. Maybe just flour. And then I'll pour it back in to thicken up the sauce a little bit. Not too much, I would say. There you go. I think that's okay. All right. What type of classes do you like to explore topics in, Just Michael? Alright, pour it back in. It's got the flavor in it. Thicken up the sauce. And what I'm going to do next is also put the mushrooms in. I do want to cook that mushroom up. Oops, spilled some onions down the side, but these mushrooms are... some people are fans of mushrooms, some aren't. You know, when you switch to a more plant-based, vegetable-based diet, you could always appreciate any sort of variety that there is out there. So, a little bit of mushrooms. Some people are allergic to mushrooms. I'm not. I like them. Tomatoes as well, but I don't have any tomatoes this round. Excuse me. There we go. Keep that covered a little bit. Usually any kind of topic. Some people like to explore in topics of, what do you call it? Social studies. Some people like to explore topics of, these are meatless chicken nuggets. They look like chicken nuggets, but they're not. There you go. Clean up as I go along. Look this way. Oops. This way too. Such a messy cook, but we'll work with what we got. Oh, what happened? My stream. Okay, it's still streaming. Just pause for a second. There you go. Let it simmer for about a good 5 more minutes. And afterwards we can say that it'll be done. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Just Michael. Let's see how it tastes. Very savory, flavorful, I would say. And I know that some people may want to compare it to a steak or lamb chop or something, which you can, but it's just a different caliber. Everything's different. When you switch over to a plant-based diet, your taste buds starts getting more and more refined, interestingly. Like when you do want to eat meats, you'll want to eat like something that's like really high-end rather than just regular meats. Now let that simmer a little bit more. Do you have some kale greens at home, Just Michael? Oh, that's cool. I think for a lot of people, I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but for a lot of people, they don't even know what it is. I didn't even realize what kale green was until recently in my life. And supposedly in the past, it was a green that's not really meant for the so-called higher end community. So upperclassmen don't really consume kale greens. Just like corn. Corn wasn't really considered a delicacy meal. It's quite interesting, Michael, how things evolve and change. I remember years and years ago, shrimp and lobsters, they were considered trash food. Like, people didn't want to eat them because there is so much in abundance that it was considered like just food that nobody wouldn't wanted to consume. But through the evolution of time, through a passage of time, lobsters and shrimps are now considered, strangely, they're considered delicacies. Very peculiar. If you study history through the passage of time, you'll see that things change. The rules change. What was considered like legal back then is now considered completely illegal. And I wonder if other things would be true too. What's considered actually the whole topic of another thing that's interesting is the topic of preferences, like what you like and what you don't like. If you study a little bit deeply, you'll see that back then it was completely illegal for a man to like another man. It's against the law. You could be tried and hung for it. But now, through better understanding of the world, it has evolved and changed. And, I like to coach and teach people to just be, how can I say, tolerant of each other. So there's less conflict, you know. It doesn't hurt me for someone to like someone or something else. So if it doesn't hurt me, why should I be so concerned about what they like? Meaning, let's cover the topics of homosexuality itself. If, you know, for example, if I'm not homosexual but somebody else is, it doesn't harm me if they are or not. It doesn't harm me. So why should I go through such great lengths of so-called dispute or emotional unsettlement just because somebody else likes something else? No big deal. Oh, the mushrooms are delicious. Look at this one. Let's take a bite of this one. Lovely. I will add a little bit of salt. Some Himalayan pink salt. Ground up. Keep it covered. Just for added flavor. And there you go. The finished product looks like this. A little bit of cranberries pumped up in there, the onions in there, pieces of the kale greens, and the sauce is not runny, a little bit thicker. It is pretty much finished. Go ahead and let this set for a little bit. I'll pack my lunch, get ready for work, and I'll be streaming again once I get on the road. Thanks for joining me today, Just Michael. I appreciate that, okay? I'll see you next time around. I appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it. And if you do make any sort of cooking or whatever, hey, send me a video or pictures. That'd be great. I appreciate it. Here, I'll get you the email address to send it to. This is my personal email address. If you have any pictures of it, love to see it. Or if you want to reach out to me, I'm on TikTok, Instagram too. Instagram. Thanks for joining me today, Just Michael. I appreciate that, okay? I'll see you next time around. I appreciate it, guys.